So because I'm on Christmas break, I have recently started doing a lot more racing a day. In fact, about twice the amount of races I've been doing a day. And I've learned a lot of things that I'd like to share with you about mistakes I made, things I learned. Feel free to comment down below things that you've learned when you've tried to increase the amount of races. Maybe you experienced racers will know a little bit about this and can help the newer racers in the comments. That's always nice. Before we get started, make sure to enter the NitroType Cash giveaway I have going on for $30 million of NitroType Cash. That ends on the 10th of January 2023. So make sure to enter. There's a video, again, linked in the description. It'll explain exactly how to enter. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I'm also running a NitroType profile rating series. You can enter by watching the video linked in the description. It will be a different video, but it's very easy to enter. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer you as quickly and clearly as possible. But now that I have that out of the way, let's get into the first point. So the first thing is to gradually increase the amount of races you do a day. This is a mistake I made. I went from doing 120 races a day to doing 200 races a day. That was not a fun transition, and I'd recommend, if you'd like to increase the amount of races you do a day by a lot, please do not immediately go up to that number. Just kind of slowly increase, kind of feel for where this is the most races I can do a day with the time I have and not feel like a grinder. And you're not going to do that by picking a number and just immediately going to that. That's going to really hurt your hands. It's going to feel really mentally fatiguing. So when I first tried to transition, instead of doing 200 races a day, I did 150 races a day. And then I kind of worked my way up to 180 and then 200. And sometimes I'll actually do a little bit more than 200 if I'm really bored. But yeah, just gradually increase. This is something I cannot emphasize enough. The next point is accuracy. Of course, accuracy has to make it into pretty much every typing video I do where I give advice because it's just so important. By typing with good accuracy, you're going to be able to have your hands a little bit more relaxed. They're going to feel a little bit better. Because you're not making as many mistakes, you're not going to be moving your hands quite as much, and it's just better. There's not much else to say, just accuracy is super important, especially in the real world, where accuracy is going to be really important because you don't want to have to stop every 5 seconds to like backspace half your sentence. The next thing is to break up your racing sessions. Don't do all your daily racing in one sitting, unless of course you're doing not very much racing at all. But if you're doing that, then you're probably not watching this video. So make sure to break it up into smaller sessions. I recommend if you're going to do anything less than 200 races a day, break it up into 2, and if you're doing a lot more than that, try to do 3. In general, I do 100 races earlier in the morning and 100 races early afternoon, and that gives me time to make a video. It doesn't take me that long to do the racing, probably a little bit over an hour for each 100 races, and then making a video, then I have plenty of time for that. So yeah, generally, just try to break it up. It's going to feel a lot better on your hands. Of course, not everyone has time for that, and if you do, then you're probably not going to be able to do as much racing a day as you would like. But breaking it up into smaller sessions is definitely something you should do. That is something I did, and I understood. It really helped me a lot. Definitely something I think I did right. Next thing is to make sure your hands are relaxed when you're typing. If your hands are like super tensed up the whole time you're typing because you're trying to find letters and you're losing the race or whatever, just don't. Keep your hands relaxed. The best way to do that is running them under warm water. It doesn't have to be scalding hot water because I don't know how much that actually relaxes your hands. But warm water, at least in my experiences, kind of helps relax the muscles and tendons and ligaments in my hands, and it just helps me to type a lot faster. But if you're not used to doing that, you're going to have to get used to it. It's going to feel really hard to type accurately at first because your hands are going to be so loose and easy to move. So definitely something you'll have to keep in check, but once you do it enough, you'll get used to it. So yeah, definitely something I'd recommend getting in the habit of doing as long as you're racing at home. If you're at school, obviously, you may not be able to do that because just obvious reasons. But that's it for this point. Let's move on to the next one. The last one is breaks. Take breaks when you're racing. Don't try, even if you're breaking it up into separate sessions, like I said, I still take breaks, about 70 races in, I'll take a small break and then I'll finish off with 30 races. Sometimes I'll do the whole 100 races in a sitting, but I find generally I type a little faster if I take a small break, somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be exactly the half point, but make sure it's not a long break because, again, if you're breaking up into sessions, you don't want to break it up even further. That just gets confusing. So maybe like a 5-minute break. Get a drink of water, maybe do some stretching, maybe run your hands under some warm water again, help them get relaxed. Just something I recommend doing. But that is pretty much it for today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, it would be fantastic if you could like and subscribe. I'm getting very close to 500 subscribers, and that's going to be really big. So any subscriber gained, it really means a lot to me. But that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the next one.